Buongiorno. Good afternoon, persons of quality, and welcome to the Aquinas Lecture Series. Today, we are honored to have the Aquinas College Music Department giving us a presentation entitled Spotlight on Women Composers. And I'm going to hand things over now to Professor Barbara McCargar, who is the head of the department, and she will introduce the various performers who will be delighting and teaching us for the next hour. Please join me in welcoming the music department.
And I'm going to start by asking Sister Catherine to offer a short prayer.
I found that I have lots to pray about today. Creative God, source of all that is good and true and beautiful, we ask your blessing on our lecture recital and all those participating in it. May your presence and beauty be found in every note, as you are the source of the gifts of music which we will perform today and which has been given to us by these wonderful composers. We ask for your compassionate consolation on the family of Gary Kono, the talented and artistic member of our college who gave so much to us in so many different venues and who we will bury on Thursday. Give your gentle strength to Mary Hurd, who was called to the bedside of her father in his illness, and who will be part of this recital in spirit. Help us always to be instruments of your love and goodness in our lives. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Catherine. Well, joining me in the first selection on this program are two faculty members from the music department and a student, Miss Bethany Pattison. Our cellist is Steve Redmon, who teaches low strings and cello students. And our harpsichordist today, with his very own harpsichord, is Mr. Larry Biser, who teaches our chamber choir and music history. And I'm going to ask Larry to come up and share some words about this music and maybe a bit about the harpsichord. Thank you.
Well, the bit about the piece is you have very complete notes, I think, in your program. So, is that better? So, I don't think I need to say a lot about her, but about Delaguerre's attention to the cantata. The cantata was basically a form that came out of the Italian madrigal style and was popular in Italy for perhaps 100 years or so. When Delaguerre got interested in Italian music, she discovered this form and took up composition of various cantatas. Perhaps because her opera was not a roaring success when it was first presented, she completely abandoned any vocal compositions for quite an extensive period of her life. Then, after her son and parents and husband died, she again developed an interest, probably because of the Italian madrigal, Italian cantata style, in making that a French idiom. She did that in the Italian style, which was basically for a solo voice, some instruments, and basso continuo. Today, the basso continuo, of course, is cello and myself and harpsichord, and the solo instrument is the flute, with a soprano as the solo cantata. She did write cantatas for Mezzo-sopranos and one, I believe, for male voice. Very popular composer. She went on to write another set of, this one was written about 1708. She did write another set later in her life, and then near the end of her life wrote yet another set of secular cantatas, which were kind of a genre that Paris hadn't seen. These pieces were most appropriate to the afternoon musicals she had in her home. After her husband died, she invited people to come listen to her play and friends of hers play. And this was one of the earliest examples of the French salon music, music in the home. So while the king preferred huge works, she liked these small works that she did in her home. Toward the end of her life, she did write a Te Deum, which was another huge work, which was done in celebration of the king's recovery from smallpox, I believe. So she ended her life with a big piece, but in the middle, opera here, Te Deum here in the middle, were all these wonderful cantatas and a bunch of pieces for harpsichord. Oh, I was supposed to talk about the harpsichord. Anybody here know what a harpsichord is? Well, see, there are 4 or 5 that know what a harpsichord is. A harpsichord is a pre-runner of the piano, and it makes its sounds by actually plucking the strings as a harpist plucks the harp strings with the finger. A plectra comes up and actually plucks the strings. So it doesn't create a very sustained sound, and it is rather soft, although I was told this harpsichord's kind of loud, so I don't know. I don't know where to put that in relationship, so there you go.
As you can see, he didn't get into the wail during the portions that we sang. Now let's bring up one of our students, Kameri Muir, to share with us a little bit about Libby Larsen before she performs a vocal piece with Bill Marfink accompanying.
Hi. Libby Larsen is known today as one of America's most performed living composers. She was born in 1950 and she's still living today. And she is also known for being extremely selective when she's choosing the text for her pieces. So this particular piece is from a set of 3 songs called the Cowboy Songs, and is a letter from the book Hello by Robert Creeley. And these were all words that were written by real people long ago.
Sister Catherine Williams is going to come forward and share a little bit about Libby Boulanger. Sister Catherine, Mary Hurd, and I put a CD together not too many years ago, and we have several copies over in the Art Music Center, where she performed this whole set of pieces. Sister?
Kameri, that was beautiful. But I want you to know that Libby Larson was born in 50, and I was born in 40. So, she's not that old. The piece that I'm going to play is called Cortège, and I'm not a one for French, but the only thing I could find on WikiLeaks or whatever was that it's a procession or a gathering. But it said solemn procession, the first thing that I read, and this isn't terribly solemn. But what comes before it is d'un vieux jardin, which I think pronounces an old garden. And then the second movement is a light garden, d'un jardin clair. Some of you who are French people can help me with this. And then comes the cortège. So maybe it has to do with the gathering in the garden or something. Who knows? Anyway, it's written in the early 20th century, and so it has the elements of the Impressionistic period, chromaticism, whole tone scale, you'll hear it. The interesting thing about this piece is the accompaniment is all triads in motion, but the triads are put open. So instead of do, mi, so, it's do, so, mi, up there, a 10th movement all the way through. So it's pretty interesting. And I will try my best to play it well.
Thank you, Sister Catherine. That is my favorite of the three pieces. We're going to bring up now Lori Tennenhouse, one of our students, an adult learner, who has an experience, a very close experience with a women's chorus of Grand Rapids. And I might be wrong, but did this group once perform that piece, the women's chorus? This song. Yeah, all right, tell us more.
Hello. I must say, I think I'm the only person, maybe not, maybe there's other people here, but I've had the great fortune of meeting 3 of the composers showcased today in today's program, Robin Connell being one of them. in this room, but also Libby Larson. We commissioned a piece from her for Women's Chorus to a text by Mary Oliver a couple years ago. And then Abby Bettinas, who I'm going to talk with you about today, born in 1950, a real talent from Minnesota. And there's a couple things I'd like to do today. One is to talk about her a round that she wrote called Be Like the Bird. And also, when we're done performing it for you, I'd like to play one of her choral pieces that she commissioned recently. So, interesting about Abby, her great-grandfather was born in Marquette, Michigan, in 1922. And every year for Christmas, he would make a Christmas carol, and he would do a little drawing inside. And then his son decided he was going to write a Christmas carol every year that he would send out to his family. And his name was Alfred Burt, and his carols became famous. He did Caroling, a number of other carols. And so Abby took on this tradition of writing a carol for every Christmas that she would send to her family. And she's done this 12 years in a row, and the Minnesota Public Radio has published, premieres all of them every year. The Dale Warland Singers, other very excellent choral groups sing her pieces, and they're all published under her label, Abby Bettinas Music. So this specific round we're going to do for you, called Be Like the Bird, she wrote in response to her third recurrence of breast cancer. So, got some singers here for you, if you mind coming up.
Be like the bird that, passing in her flight, a while on boughs to slide, feels them give way beneath her, and sings, and sings, and sings, knowing she hath wings. Be like the bird that, pausing in her flight, a bird that, pausing in her flight, a bird that, pausing in her flight, a bird that, pausing in her
Great, fantastic, thank you. Always an enthusiast of language, Bettinas enjoys delving into ancient and modern texts in the hope of inspiring greater cultural literacy and exchange. She sets texts in English, Gaelic, ancient Greek, Latin, medieval Persian, Spanish, Tangara, Chinese, and gibberish, in which she is most fluent, and has recently completed a song cycle featuring the Norwegian poetry of Rolf Jacobson. Her text setting has been called imaginative, sensitive, and pushing performers to explore extended vocal techniques like yodeling, crying, spitting, whistling, glottal grunting, and bird calling. Her recent projects investigate topics as varied as ancient Greek love charms and binding spells, African mellow rhythm, early American shape note shifting, singing, and Sufi mysticism. A recent piece by the Rose Ensemble explores the pre-Christian Gaelic tradition of keening in a staged piece for solo soprano, mixed chorus, Gaelic harp, bodhran, and veil. So this next piece is sung by Miraness Choir from Seattle, Washington. I was there when they recorded this in Vancouver. It's called A Chant for Great Compassion, and I'd love for you to hear it. So, just one more plug to really these living composers rely on people to commission them, unlike in the past where there was royal courts and such to augment people's pocketbooks. In order for these people to do their work, they need people interested in their music and excited about commissioning them. So look more into Abby Bettina. She's got things for men, for women, for chamber works, for solo and piano. So thank you.
And to conclude our program, we have the wonderful Dr. Robin Connell to share one of her own compositions with us. I have to say that it's unfortunate that her dear husband, Paul Brewer, was taken ill at the end of spring break, of course, and just isn't feeling up to playing today. So she's a solo act. Robin, please share some information with us.
Thank you. I saw a copy of the program and I noticed that I'm the only composer without a birth date, a year. So this is the audience participation part of the program, and I'd like to take some guesses. But before you go any further, I'll just tell you I was born in 1970, and I wrote this piece in 1986 or 7, so I was pretty young when I wrote it. Am I getting away with it so far? I don't know. It says something in the program about it. If you've seen a copy, it's just I wrote a song. But there is some audience participation because this piece is it's just a short song. It's only about 20 measures. I don't remember exactly how many measures. But in the jazz tradition, then you play the song and then you improvise a little and then it's over. So you never know. Like, in fact, when I'm in a program where they want to know, like when I taught at Interlochen, and if you were going to perform in a faculty recital, you had to say how long the piece was, because they would put several, well, like this, they put several faculty together, and they always wanted to make sure it was the right, like, I never knew what to say. I don't know, it could be 30 seconds long, it could be 5 minutes long, what do you want, you know? So anyway, okay. So if you read the program, fine. If not, I'll just tell you it was a song, and I used to have a band, and we would play it. And then I kind of rewrote it for a big band, jazz big band. And then I recently started playing it again, because I got real sick of it. I recently started playing it again. And I have 3 different recordings of it. They're all really different. So I brought one of them with me today. I just did a couple months ago. So the audience participation is, would you rather hear me play solo piano, and I'll just play it, or would you want to hear the recording? Either way, it's, by the way, if you want to know how long it is, we're about 2 minutes. Sometimes I've had trouble. This was written when I was quite young, and I don't think I've really mastered melody very well yet. So the melody is rather static in part of it. It just kind of stays in one place, and the harmony changes. And again, there's Chopin's Prelude that everybody plays, a similar kind of concept. But the other thing is, and why I don't particularly like playing it solo piano, is because it's a very sustained melody, which doesn't work that well on piano. Perfect for trombone.
Thank you to all the students and the faculty from the music program who participated today. I know that in many lecture series installments, people have Q&A sessions. We're running short on time. There are a few minutes, and we're out among you. If there's a burning question, or from a student, if there's something you want to know that will help complete that report you have to do on a concert, raise a hand and speak up. We're out here among you, and we'd be glad to try to answer your question.